Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman. We're going to continue in our How to Prepare Your Heart to Receive Your Spouse Back series. Now, yesterday we took a look at how the prodigal father, responded to his prodigal son and how he was able to, have open arms, how he embraced his son, return. And so that was in part one. Part two, we dealt with the hurt and pain, right? Before I can receive my prodigal spouse back, before I can respond just like the prodigal father, I have to deal with the hurt and pain. I got to make sense of it. I got to face it. I got to deal with it. I got to move to a level of forgiveness and just healing and letting things go, right? Now, today in part three, it's all about being obedient to the instructions of the Lord. And I know at times, right, it can be hard to be obedient to God's instruction, especially once God revealed to you this particular person is your spouse, and then God places you and your spouse in a divine separation. And he kicks you out of the kitchen, right? God said, get out of the kitchen. He tells you, operate this way, stop checking, stop looking, right? He's basically asking us to just release all contact, with our prodigal spouse, right? And that could be hard for some of us, okay? Let's just be honest. It could be hard. It can also create a level of fear because you're thinking like, well, wait a minute, guy, you said this is my spouse. And if I let him go, the counterfeit might get him, right? Come on now. Let's tell the truth, shame the devil. And so when we talk about how do I prepare my heart to receive my spouse back, number one, I got to be aware of what is hurting my heart. What are the things that I'm doing? What are the things when I see this, it hurts my heart and it moves me to anger, or it causes me, when I see this in my prodigal, it causes me to feel disgusted. It causes me to want to give up on the promise. It causes me to second guess what God said, right? We got to know these things about ourselves, okay? Because if we're not aware that each time, even though God placed me and my spouse in a divine separation, if I'm not aware each time when I look at their social media page and I see them with different counterfeits, and I'm not aware that it's hurting my heart or it's causing me to feel disgust or it's filling me up with resentment, which is now turning into bitterness, right? Because I'm seeing my spouse give everyone else a chance and maybe your spouse didn't give you a chance, right? So if I'm not aware of these things and I keep on looking, when God said stop checking, when God said divine separation, when God said get out of the kitchen, but I keep looking, you know what's happening? You are hardening your own heart. You will never move into a level of healing because each time you look and check, you seeing what you don't want to see, right? Even when God, brings about correction, even when God shows you evidence, right? Your spouse might contact you, they might apologize about, their behavior in the past, and you're like, okay, all right, God, I see how you moving. You get excited, right? Only for you to go back and check their page or whatever the case may be, right? Only for you to go back and check, snoop, and find something else. Now you're mad. Now you're mad all over again. Now you're doubting that this is possible with God, right? Now you're like, you know what? I'm about to leave this alone. I'm giving up. It's not even worth it. I shouldn't even have to go through this. You start going through all of these emotions, right? Now you're back in a state of hurt and pain. So if we are going to prepare our heart, number one, I got to become aware of what are the things that I'm doing that's causing, that's putting me in a position for me to get my own heart broken, right? What are the things that I'm doing? So if I'm checking the social media pages and when I see these things and it hurt me, I need to stop checking. If I'm snooping, right? We got some standards, who are standard for marriage restoration. If I'm snooping and looking for things and I find these things, only for these things now to hurt my heart and cause me to feel like my spouse will never change, and it's causing me to doubt God, I have to stop snooping. I have to stop because I'm partnering with the enemy on how to hurt my own heart. When God said, trust him, God said, divine separation, get out of the kitchen and allow him to cook this, love story up for you. So we got to remove our focus off of our prodigal spouses and put the focus on us. You are in your preparation season. It's time to prepare for your God ordained love story. It's time to prepare your heart. It's time to purge that hurt and pain out of your heart. It's time to put the blinders on, okay? And stop partnering with the enemy on how to hurt your heart. The Bible says guard your heart, right? We got to, when they talk about guarding your heart, that means I got to guard what I see. I got to guard what I listen to. I got to guard the people I'm going around who is telling me about what my spouse is doing. I have to guard my ears. If I'm going to prepare to receive my prodigal back, if I want to respond like the prodigal father, it's certain things I got to put in place to protect myself, okay? And then I got to move into a level of, I believe God can do this. If God has revealed to you one evidence, how he's correct, how he brought correction, or even how he's changing the heart, or let's say your spouse used to be angry and bitter, but now they seem more calm, right? That's evidence, okay? So God is showing you nothing is impossible with me, right? He's showing you this. So when God show you these things, okay, now it's time for us to move into a space of, I believe you, God. And you know what? Because you're showing me these evidence, I'm walking by faith and not by sight. I'm believing what your word said. I'm going to believe that you can change my spouse's heart. You can pull him out of the hands of the enemy. You can remove every counterfeit that tries to sit in my seat. I'm going to believe you, Father, and I'm going to get out of the kitchen and I'm going to allow you to do what you need to do in my prodigal while I'm over here getting ready. That's the mindset we got to have if we're going to prepare our heart to receive our spouses back, okay? So this is part 3. I'll see you in part 4. All right? Take care.